Welcome to the late night podcast where we exclusively record at late nights. I am your co-host, MegaRedsFan, here with my co-host,
I am your co-host, Palebreadpainter. All words.
Prainter, Prancer,
Palebreadpainter.
Pilbit Prancer,
Palebreadpanther, yes. Panther?
Prancer, not Panzer.
This is how you know it's the late night podcast.
I would probably bomb the Pacific.
Interesting.
Why? I don't know. I think it'd look cool. Post
Wanna
that one on
see the
Facebook.
explosion?
Or Meta. I mean Meta.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Just blot out the sky with smoke. Oh god. Oh no.
I just want to say this on the record. Pokimane has bigger balls than Ninja. I'm gonna say it. It's true.
Yes, and he walks forward a step, and 4 scissors come down and lodge themselves into the floor, into the carpet, because they fell from the ceiling.
Facebook Live?
Oh my god! This is so wrong! This is so wrong! Welcome to my Facebook Live, guys! Jesus Christ!
Nick, this affects you. It doesn't affect you, but it affects you. So apparently there is a Rainbow Six Siege, which is a shooter game. And there's a big tournament happening in. Well, I didn't know what it was because it was trending on Twitter, and it was shortened to UAE, and I was like, "What is UAE? Like, what does that stand for?" And so I clicked on it to see what it stood for, and it was just like tournament, Rainbow Six tournament, UAE. Fans are getting mad at it because it's whatever, and then it's like, I like Rainbow Six Siege, but I will not support one in UAE. And I'm like, what is UAE? UAE is United Arab Emirates. It's a country.
Oh.
And the reason people are so mad about this tournament taking place in United Arab Emirates, I'm going to call it United Arab Emirates because UAE is confusing, and I don't think anyone would know what I'm saying, even though I've already said it's United Arab Emirates. Because United Arab Emirates has very harsh rules against LGBTQ plus people. So basically, so if you're not straight, you could be arrested, and at worst you could. I read you could be put to death, but that is a article, so I don't know if that's true. But I know you will be put in prison. And so people are like Ubisoft, what are you doing? Why are we having tournaments in United Arab Emirates when they're mean? So I don't know. I was curious. Do you have an opinion on that being LGBTQ plus? Because I mean, I understand why people are mad at. I guess the country. I don't know. I understand why people would be mad because it's like they're living their lives. I don't know why you have to arrest them for being gay. But I know why. It's probably because they're Muslim, and I don't think Muslims agree with most. That could be wrong though, but it's still you're just mad with an entire country because they treat people worse, which I guess is a reason. But sorry, continue. I'm rambling.
Oh, you're fine. I can kind of see why people would be kind of mad about it. So you were so are people saying they won't watch it if it's airing from there?
They're gonna stop playing the game, I think is what they're saying. They're like, well, they're signing there's a petition for them not to go for the tournament not to take place in the United Arab Emirates. But I don't know, I guess they're gonna stop watching it, stop playing it, typical boycott stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I already thought Rainbow Six was dead, so I don't know how these people still exist.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I don't know what I would do because I definitely wouldn't. Of course, I don't want to support a country that's actively against me and actively does not protect me in any way. So I'd be like, okay, I would probably be kind of upset with the game a little. It's like, well, I don't know, why are you supporting that a little? But it's and I would just stop playing for a while until they're done with that. Like I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna move. It's not a specific I'm a boycott this. It's a I'm just kind of done with this now. That's
Yeah.
how I would be. It's like, oh, that's kind of depressing. All right, I guess I'm gonna play some Scarlet Nexus for like the next month or something. I don't know. Like, gotta get that COD life now.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah, I
like,
don't know. It's weird. It's not. I feel like I'm sounding like a homophobe. I'm like,
oh,
get
you're not.
over it, you know. But I
I
don't
get what
mean
you're
like
saying.
that. I'm just like, I don't understand being mad at an entire country because, well, not mad at a country. They're mad at the company. Well, I understand being
Yeah.
mad at a company, but
Like,
it like comes across as people being mad at a country's laws,
I
which
get
is
what you mean.
understandable, but it's still like their country. So
It's it comes off as weird because you're mad at the country and its laws, and you're mad that the gaming company is like going to a place like that. But at the same time, it's not the gaming company being like, we are pro anti-gay law. You know,
yeah,
it's just them wanting to, I don't know, like try to reach out to different countries so that they can expand.
yeah,
And
they're
it's like
trying to, yeah.
they're not actively trying to say they're anti-gay or anything. They're just trying to expand in any way they can.
And it
You
just
know,
happens that United Arab Emirates is, yeah.
yeah. Um, it's like if they went to Russia, you know, there might have been a very similar thing. You know, and
I
it's
think
like
they've,
them going to Russia doesn't mean they're anti-gay. It just means okay, we're trying to reach the Russian population so that they play our game as well. Like, um, I don't know. It is a little weird to
there
be
was
mad,
one in
but I don't know.
2018.
That's so. So was there boycotting back then?
I don't know.
If there
Room
wasn't, then
Factory
this is
won. They won 500 rubles. 500,000 rubles, excuse me.
what is a ruble?
It's the Russian currency.
Oh, I like the sound of it.
Wait, was it just a Russian tournament? Oh, it was a Russian championship for. I don't know if there was a.
So
Oh
yeah,
wait,
I don't know.
wait. Um, I shut up. I'm not gonna disable my ad blocker because I'm gonna get a Trojan horse.
Don't you want to disable your ad blocker?
No,
Just come on, disable it. Come on, we're nice.
no.
We'll be nice
United
to your
Arab
computer.
Emirates is one. I knew that. An extensive history of rappers rapping about video games.
What?
Okay, that's not what I wanted to read.
That is nowhere near what you were asking for. Jeez.
Keep
Like
talking so I can read this.
if oh yeah, I get you. But like if there was no boycotting or any upset like people from it being in Russia, um, then it at that point it's not even about being upset about their anti-gay laws because they are just as bad as each other. Like
Yeah,
you can get stoned to death in Russia for being gay. Like it's not legal,
yeah.
but no one exactly does
Well,
anything. It's like, oh well, they were gay. It's dangerous to walk out like holding hands. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, this isn't supposed to be legal, but you just didn't do anything. But okay. Um, so, people should be actively mad about that with Russia for that tournament as well. But if they weren't, I feel like this is kind of a hypocrite kind of move. It's like,
yeah,
well, why didn't you have a problem with it before? Like, why are you just now caring about this?
yeah. This is
Like,
just. Sorry, this is just saying it's. This is just talking about United Arab Emirates. It's not talking about. So
yeah.
I
So,
think there was just a. I think there was a championship for Russian teams in Russia, and
oh,
that's what
so it
I
was a
just
bit
saw.
different.
So I think the people in Russia. I don't know. I
You
don't
don't know if
know.
they had any
I
connection.
I don't think people got mad at it. But I know what you
Yeah.
mean because yeah, Russia's. You know.
Like Russia is just as bad. Like I would love to visit Russia just because like
I
I
want to
bet
get
it would be
stoned.
cool.
That's my dream.
Yeah.
Tarred and
That's my
feathered.
dream.
Count me in. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be tarred and feathered. That'll be fun. No. But like Russia is a very pretty place and like I don't know. I just dig some of the music randomly. And there's like some cool places to visit and I really like the like colder weather and I think it would be nice. But it's not the best place to live for someone such as myself. So
Yeah.
it would kind of suck to live there.
Yeah.
For many, many reasons, but that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's. Yeah. I don't know. Because
so
like lots of those.
you're saying?
I'm thinking. I'm putting words together. I'm tired. Like, what am I trying to say here? I was thinking about how United Arab Emirates, which I'm pretty sure, but I'm probably wrong, is a predominantly Muslim country, which would be not far.
I almost wonder if that's why they're boycotting for the big reason.
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, like
yeah, Islam's the official. Yeah, 90% are Muslim. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That this is another hot take, kind of, but not really. That I really don't think religion deserves a place in government.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
it's a bit weird.
I understand it in a person's life. If the president happens to be Christian, Muslim, atheist, Hindu, whatever, that's, as long as they're not putting that in their laws and they're like, well, my holy book says I can't have sex with a hamster, so that's no more, Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, if everyone's okay with it, if it's not illegal, which it should be, I'm not saying sex with a hamster is a good thing. I'm just saying,
Listen, if the hamster consents, I
yes,
mean,
in this universe, hamsters can read minds and telepathically communicate with other people. Which would be a huge thing in court. Be like, the hamster communicated with me. It said it was okay. Because there'd be
God,
no way to prove that. But
I feel like there's a guy out there who was crazy. I was like, dude, I can speak to the hamster. He wanted it. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
it probably is. But that's neither here nor there.
Continue.
Because there's things like this where it's if you're gay, trans, LGBTQ of any kind, you will be murdered, stoned, etc., etc. That's not usually. Well, I mean, in some cases, it could be the first ruler's preference or something, or the first lawmaker's preference. But a lot of the times, I feel like it's religion, because lots of early countries were, built on Catholicism, Muslimism, Islam, Christianity, all the hot ones,
All the big five hot religions.
Yeah, and as time went on, people realized that science was a thing. And then they were like, yeah, maybe our country shouldn't be driven around our omnipotent being that we may or may not believe in.
Just based on pure belief.
Yeah, and
but
I think that the ideas of gay bad, lesbian bad, transgender badder because whatever, I think those just held on as these leaders or whatever were probably still raised under that religion, even though it's not running the country anymore. So they still are, and so it comes around that now United Arab Emirates is in hot water from a bunch of neckbeard Rainbow Six Siege lovers, because
yeah, the thing is, what's messed up is it's not even necessarily the religion's fault. Just a lot of the believers kind of misread or mistranslate or just completely misconstrue a lot of Bibles, the Quran, all these different things. It's oh well, there's this very specific line saying this very specific thing here, and it's things that are just incredibly vague. Where it's oh, well, I mean, I guess you could interpret it that way, but it's really supposed to mean don't do this instead.
Yeah. That's...
And so a lot of people use religion to further their own beliefs rather than using the religion based on what it's actually for. There's nothing inherently bad about religion, but there's stuff bad about a lot of believers.
Yeah. People, I think, use religion very much as a weapon now. Especially Facebook moms. No offense to my mother, but there's women that they see the post on Facebook, like and share if you love Jesus. 100% of you won't do it or something. And then they'll comment, I love Jesus. He was with me the day I was born. Amen. God bless, or whatever. And it's like, you can do that. It's not a big deal. It's just like, and then like the people who are like, I'm a prayer warrior. I pray for the healing and stuff. And it's like, I mean, just go to the doctor. You don't, like, And then
I'm all for having faith. Like, if the worst comes, like, yes, pray to your God or whoever.
Yeah.
Take me to a better place. I'm all cool with that. But don't pray to your God saying, all right, you'll cure me of any illness that can befall me. It's like, that's just, no.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
I mean, it's like they pray, because I mean, I grew up in a church, every day, or every Sunday, not every day, every Sunday. Every day I went to church. I actually lived in a cult my whole life. No.
I don't know about it, Jacob.
So, yeah, I've actually been in a cult this whole time, Nick.
Just mistook it as a regular religion.
Yeah. There's a very thin line between religion and cult, if you ever think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty worrisome how thin the line is. Like,
yeah, especially with like TV pastors and like just anyone can. I mean, this is a double-edged sword. Anyone can get their hand on a Bible, or Quran. Actually, I don't know if anyone can. I assume yes, because it's kind of a.
I mean, you could just order it off of Amazon.
Probably, yeah. But I'm gonna stick with the Bible since I know you can buy that anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anyone can get their hands on it, so any wackadoodle with like an IQ of 5 can get it and be like, I read this and it told me that the hamsters are gonna come back. So I need everyone to come and follow me so we can get on the hamster's spaceship and fly, And then all the Facebook moms who, prayer warriors on there, I love Jesus, retweet, reshare, whatever. They then get on board with Hamster Man because they're susceptible to his manipulation. And then
it's funny because people could actually do that.
Because that's why I said it.
like the Bible is pretty vague sometimes, so you could be like, "Oh, conspiracy theory, it's the hamsters."
Yeah, that's another
guys, anti-hamsters.
That's another thing I had to say about the whole notion of Christianity at this point is that there are so many different denominations of Christianity. I mean, you got Southern Baptists, you have God Apostles, you have other Lutherans, there's a bunch. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know all of them, obviously.
I actually don't know the difference between any of these. Like, it's like, I get that they're like from different schools of thought, but like, I don't know it's weird.
They're either very minute differences or they're like very big differences. So Southern Baptist, which I know best because it's the one I was raised in, which I I haven't gone to because life changed. And Southern Baptist is very conservative of no gay, no trans, no cross-dressing, no drugs, no pornography, no masturbating, no sex before marriage, no sleeping with a woman, no staying in the same room as a woman for longer than 20 minutes. That's a bit overboard, but you know what I mean. And then there's like ultra left Christians, which are like, hey, the Bible says God or love thy neighbor. So if you're gay, trans, or whatever, come on in. We all love God. But in my mind, I'm very pessimistic. And cynical. So in my mind, those churches feel like money grabs to me, because those are also like the big mega churches that like they have massive like praise bands, essentially bands that perform every Sunday and they sing God, something, God, we love God, that, and then they have the 20-year-old pastor walk up there and be like, God said this. He has like a PowerPoint playing in the background. Now let's pray, and then church is ending because most of the church is just praise band playing, which is probably false. I mean, I know mega churches are very progressive because they want to draw in as many people as possible. Hint, hint, mega.
I
So
have no idea.
yeah, yeah. So, and I think that most mega churches, I don't know if this is true about all of them or really any of them. Well, I know it's true about the Catholic Church. At least at points in history, it was true about the Catholic Church, where they would just like ask for money for like I think the Catholic Church asked for money for prayer at a point before, or they asked for money for I don't know, stuff. They asked for money for things that it shouldn't cost money. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
But
it's
they
like,
wouldn't
oh,
say it costs money. They would say you have to tithe this much this month, which is just donate, basically. It's a fancy word for
yeah,
donate.
gotcha.
And I think mega churches do that too. Maybe not to the extent of tithe this much and we'll pray for you, but like if you tithe, God will love you, and you won't burn in hell.
Yeah, I
You
know
know?
that is the big difference between Lutheran and a lot of others. I think is
I know nothing
because
about Lutheran.
all I remember is like what I learned in history. Could be completely wrong because it's,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Oh my god, phone.
Hey, it's midnight. Woo! Late night boys.
Indeed, midnight. Um, what was I saying? Oh, like the
Luther.
guy. I can't remember his actual full name, but you know
Martin
the
Luther.
guy. Yeah, Yeah, yep. Martin Luther. He was really opposed to the whole like, oh yeah, pay for your sins to disappear, and like, you know,
Yeah,
he was really opposed to all of that, and
because
that's what started the Lutheran Church.
he was the
It's like,
beginning of if I remember correctly, he's the beginning of the what's it called? Not progressive. It's Protestant Revolution. He's the
yeah,
first guy who broke off from the Catholic Church, which is what I was
mhm,
mostly just talking
yep,
about with them using money to get more money. So the Pope was
yeah.
rich. Sorry, continue.
Like so because he hated like how the Catholics were like so money hungry, kind of. He's like, all
Yeah.
right, we're splitting off. This is not how this religion should be to me. And then there was Protestants or Lutherans, one of those. I'm
They're
guessing it could be both.
they're generically called Protestants. There's the Catholics and the
Yeah,
Protestants, and now it's just Christians or Catholics and Christians. But I guess you could still call them
yeah,
Protestants. I don't know.
yeah. It's all weird. Like there's so many splits and
But see,
diversions.
and
It's so strange.
Islam has the same thing though. They have like the Sunnis, the Sunni, the that's probably mispronounced. The Shun. I don't know. I'm not Muslim.
Really?
Sorry if there anyone is. Yeah, there's like Sunni, something, the something, 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 and they're all like based on. Those are all different because at least most of them are different because they don't know who the next Muhammad is. For those who
Mm-hmm.
don't know, Muhammad is the Jesus of Islam, essentially. Except I think he's a man. He's not like Jesus, but he's like a dude who was
He
basically,
was their messiah, but he's just some guy.
yeah, technically. And so after he died, there were like all these different factions basically that were like, well, I think this guy is the next Muhammad. And there's one side that's like, I think his wife should be the next Muhammad. And then all the other ones are like, you idiot, women can't be in charge. Silly.
Oh
Um,
my god.
I
Yeah.
think that's true. I'm pretty sure there's one faction. I don't want to call them faction, but that's like I don't know what other word to use. That was like, yeah, I think Muhammad's wife should be the next ruler because at least one of his wives. I think it's his first wife or
Yeah.
most childbearing wife because at that time they still had 10 wives. Um, yeah, yeah. Religion's weird, man.
It really is. Like, oh,
And like, what was it? I don't think I ever got to my point. I think we got tied up in the difference between Protestant and Catholicism.
I think we did, yeah.
Anyways, what I was trying to say was like, there are so many different breeds of Christianity at this point that like,
Mhm.
you never know what you're gonna get when you walk into a church. I think really, unless you
Yeah.
like know the denomination well. So you could walk in one day and they'd be like, burn the gays, down with the transvestites, etc. But you could walk into a different one next Sunday, and they'd be like, "We love everyone," you know, because God told us to love everyone, which He did, but no one likes reading that one. Zing, by the way.
Like, isn't there also a line where it's like, oh, dude, I can't remember for the life of me. It's like, sinners are the ones who cast the first stone or something. Something close to that.
I think there's something like that, yeah.
Like, I can't remember the line for the life of me, but like...
That sounds familiar. It's probably true. Because, yeah, but there's also parts in the Bible that are just whack. Like, there's
I kind of want to read the Bible just because I'm really curious about what it actually says. I've never actually read the Bible through. Like, you know, I've never been a very religious person, and whenever my grandma tried to get me, I was like, nah. Like, I wanted to go play, you know, I want to go play all the time.
Apparently it's he that is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone. Oh wait. He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her? Wait, who are they throwing stones at?
The actual line is a bit different than I remember being told.
BibleHub.com. Oh, it's a woman caught in adultery. That's awesome. Okay. Man, we're learning a lot today.
Like, so interestingly enough, I was like listening to a podcast, someone talking about like how middle the original Bible was, and it got me really interested. So now I kind of want to read the Old Testament, I think it is, because apparently it's like super metal.
The Old Testament is whack.
I really want to read it because it sounds crazy.
There's one, I think it's Second Kings. I don't remember if that's first or second or New or Old Testament, but it's there's a verse about this guy. I think it's, I don't know who it is, Elijah maybe. I don't know. He's like bald. He's walking down a path and a bunch of kids make fun of him, and he summons like 3 Yao Guai and they eat the children alive. It kills like 20 children. That's not a joke.
Oh my god!
They're bears. They may not be Yao Guai. I think that's from Fallout, but you understand.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because they called him bald, so God was like, "You can't call my prophet bald," and they all died.
See, this is why I want to read the Bible, because like the super metal stuff I hear, like apparently, I heard that angels are actually like super frightening. Like they look
they're
crazy.
all eyes.
Yeah. So like the reason they say "Do not fear me, I am an angel," whatever.
Because they're all eyes.
Yeah. I would love to see an actual angel. Like it, you know, if I saw like a person with like white wings, be like angel, I'm like, get out of here, boring. But if like a giant eyeball creature of nothing but eyes and hands or whatever, like just came up to be like, I am an angel of God, I'd be like, ooh, tell me more.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, I would listen to that more than I listen to a guy. I think you're just a meth addict. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're just a meth addict that glued like fake wings to your back.
Yeah, you went to Party City before you came here.
But like eyeball creature, dude, that's got to be very satanic or very holy. One of them. I'll listen either way.
Yeah.
God.
And there's like, I don't want to. This is going to turn into Jacob's cynical hour. When the last VBS I attended, I was doing like sound and stuff. And my church is like so old. Like the average age is like 60. That's not a joke. That's true. And it's because it's a conservative church. That's why no one else comes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that's why I don't go anymore. But we had VBS and then we had like 5 kids. It was depressing, which is awesome, honestly, to me. But it wasn't, whatever. But it's so weird. Okay, this is a side tangent. We had 5 kids, and these guys were like, oh, God bless. Even though we had only 5, you know, we still could affect someone's life. And it's like, you had 5 kids. They're never coming back. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, and they're like, we hired a new youth guy, and they're like, oh, this will bring in all the new people. We got like 1 extra person, I think, and they stopped coming.
That's
so
fun.
like, dude, I put my chips on the table. Like when our old pastor left, I was like, this church is done. Like this, we're not growing anymore. And then we got our intern pastor, which is like the guy before the new guy. He's like a whatever.
Yeah.
He was the real reason I pulled out, because he was like every Sunday he would preach about like how Russia and China are out to get us basically, and how America is the last stronghold of Christianity. And
oh my god.
And after the first Sunday of hearing all that, I was like, there's no way these people are so dumb. They're gonna like, yeah, let's keep this guy here. Unanimous. They asked, like, you guys want this guy still here? And unanimous, all the old people, amen, amen. I was like, I'm done. No, I'm never coming back. Yeah, there's no way. Because this, like, at that point, that guy's just preaching conspiracies, you know? And it's like,
literally.
And that's why I don't like everyone being able to read the Bible, because it's a part that's so vague, and everyone can, and even if it's not vague, everyone can like interpret it differently. And then you get people like that who think Israel is like the holy country, even though it was created in 1947 because the United Nations made it and they moved the Palestinians away from their not Palestinians. Wait, is it Palestine? Yeah, it is Palestine. They moved them out of their country that they owned because they were, what, Muslim or something? I don't know. And now Israel and Palestine are always fighting because Israel forcefully got there because the UN was like, yeah, we need more Jews down there. It's like, dude, it's, and then he's, oh my god, and they're all like, amen, amen. It's like, shut up. You're so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Sorry.
I have nothing against Christianity, but I definitely things against too, because a lot of them are like that, and every preacher I've ever heard is like that. And it's like, this is a little dark, but like I went to like a funeral for a friend like a while back, a couple years ago, and like I had to leave because they turned the funeral into preaching about how like God and Jesus were our only true saviors and like all this stuff. And I was like, I mean, there's a time and a place, man. And like everyone was like, amen. And I'm like, oh god, this is not why I came here.
Yeah.
Like it kind of I left. Like, and I was like, I really didn't want to, but I was like, I can't sit through this because they weren't even a religious person. They like actively they act. Oh, you're fine. But like the person I was there for were actively against Christianity, which was what was so messed up about it. I was like, they didn't even believe in any of this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why?
That's another thing I was going to say about VBS, because I actually never got there, because again, I got on a tangent about Israel and Palestine. Which, like, another tangent. Have you heard, like, I watched a video a long time ago. Like, Vice makes these not a long time ago. Vice makes these documentaries about, like, world news and stuff. Some of them are pretty old, but they're still super interesting to watch, and I recommend them because they're just fun to watch. Not fun to watch, they're kind of depressing, but they're still, like, fun to know what's happening. Fun, quote-unquote, to know what's happening in the world. And there was one about Israel and Palestine. This one was pretty recent. And it was, like, not Mecca season. It was, like, Ramadan, I think. So all these Israelites, God, Jacob, all these Muslims were coming to the Mecca, which is in Israel now, which is a Jewish country, to worship at the Mecca, in the big cube that sits in the Mecca, which I don't know what the significance of the cube is, but it's important to both Jews and Muslims, which is important to know. Israel controls the Mecca because the UN said they could, basically. And so all these Muslims came to the Mecca to, worship or whatever. And then the Israel police was like, no, you can't do that. Get out of our country.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They're basically like, this is a Jewish, this could be wrong. I watched it a while ago, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I know there were police and they're kicking people out. So, and they're Jewish police because it's the Jewish police. It's the Israeli police. So I know it's probably against. Oh, I almost said something there. Sorry. I stopped myself, so that's a 1 point for Jacob. Yeah, so they're pushing all these Muslims out, and there's people, and they're just like, we're just trying to pray, we're trying to fulfill something that our religion tells us we should do, which is visit the Mecca at least once in your life. And these Israel people are just like, no, get out of our country.
That's wild.
Yeah, and there's also a part where they were like, there's these, again, Muslim, like, not terrorists. They're these Muslim, like, not freedom fighters, but they're protesters. Man, I am tired. I cannot come up with the right words. Anyways, they're these protesters who are walking around an Israeli neighborhood, which had, I think, recently they've all been evicted because new Jewish people are coming to live there for work in, like, Israel or whatever. So all these Palestinians and Muslims are kicked out and sent back to Palestine. And there are these protesters walking around, like, talking to the news, like, yeah, my family lived there for, like, 5 generations, and now I just got kicked out, and now a Jewish guy lives there.
Jesus. Yeah. Like, that's awful.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's awful. And it's just,
why can't people just respect each other? Like...
Another history fun fact. The Israels. God, Jacob, get it together. Come on. Okay. The Muslims. The Muslims did not hate Christians. So up until the Crusades, the Muslims were like, "Oh yeah, come in," and they called Christians and Catholics, they called them brothers of the book. That's the word, because Christians and Muslims are their books are basically identical, except in places where it differs. So like all the Muslims are like, oh yeah, come in, because they get money from these people, shopping, whatever, because they also want to come to the Mecca or whatever. And then the Crusades happened. Because Catholics and the Christians were like, we hate these Muslims. They're controlling the Mecca, which is our holy place, not theirs. It's ours. So that's why I hate white people, summed up.
That's why I hate all white people. Like, Muslims get a bad rap.
Come on.
There's no reason to hate Muslims. There's literally no reason. Like,
well, United Arab Emirates, we gotta remember about that.
Oh, well...
I'm just
kidding.
That's not all Muslims. That's a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get out of here, Muslims. You're all homophobes.
I mean, there's also a way to hate Jews, because Jewish people, I'm pretty sure, are pretty conservative too.
Yeah.
So it's still, like, again, it's like they shouldn't be kicked out of their homes because Jews are coming to.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Like,
it is awful.
And for some reason, Muslims always get a bad rap for no reason. Like,
so do Jews. They both get pretty. But yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
You're right. You are actually. You're right. You don't hear as much bad stuff about the Jews.
Yeah, not
days,
anymore. But it's
after World War II,
Yeah.
But like, Muslims still get a really bad rap. Like, they're all terrorists.
They're all terrorists.
No, they just they believe in the same God. Just it sounds different because it's from a different language.
Yeah.
They have the same principles, like, literally.
They sort of have this. I don't know. There are differences, like, with how they treat people, and but I again have never read the Quran, and I honestly don't really want to. But that's just I don't want to read the Bible either. So
honestly, I kind of want to read the Bible, the Quran, and what's the Jews? What do the Jews have? What is their book?
The Torah. Torah? That's the Torah. No.
I want to read the Torah. Yeah.
It's the Torah.
That is my religious book.
It's the Torah. It's Torah, but with an H on the end, so it's Torah.
Yeah. So, like, I kind of want to read all of these religious books, but, like, I want to read them and compare them, but the problem, English translations aren't always correct and are often incorrect on purpose.
That's another problem with the amount of free Bibles out there. It's all the different, like, New Hebrew version, like, Old Testament version, etc., etc.,
Like, there was a version of the Bible that was translated not 1940, somewhere 1940s, something like that.
I don't
somewhere
know.
around that period.
You can
like
say anything, I'd
1900s
say it's true.
But somewhere in the 1900s, there was a guy who translated the Bible and like completely changed the line to be like, kill all the gays, and that was just in the Bible because he was like, I don't like the gays, so I'm gonna change this line. Like the actual more real translation was nothing of the sort. But because this guy was homophobic, he was like, this line could be said as that. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Like it was just this one guy who had the power to change it. Was like, okay, cool, let's change it. Yeah, I don't like the gays, so let's do it.
It's so
like,
easy
wow.
to like just think of something differently, basically, or to.
And it's not like anyone's gonna fact check him. No one's like, oh yes, I know how.
I mean,
whatever language it was in.
Even if you read it in Hebrew, Hebrew, I would assume is what it would be in.
Probably,
you could still read it differently. Like that person who could see that, like, oh, that says kill all the gays. Let me read the Hebrew scrolls really quick. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it does say that right there. You know, I mean, because all the people that read Hebrew are probably like, at least all the white people in America that read it are probably in their elderly years. But again, that could be a lie. I don't know. But that, to me, that would sound right.
Like, well, the thing is, like, the actual line...
Wait, I'm still off topic. Sorry. I just realized I still have...
But, like, the line he was translating, it didn't even have anything to do with sexuality or sex or who you like. It was, like... there was actually no like connection whatsoever. It wasn't even a translation. It couldn't have been misconstrued. Is like the thing. Is like he just completely got rid of something he didn't care about and replaced it with something he did. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like
that's
it was insane. Yeah. Like, so if anyone actually had read the original, they're like, wait, what is this line? Like they would have been so confused because there was nothing similar. And I think that's bonkers.
I mean, it's probably true. I mean, I'm not saying it is true, but it probably is because so many people can just change it. Change it in quotes. They can make it their own, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think that's the case anymore because there since then has been a more updated book that is closer to the original translation. Yeah. Or the original writing. So I believe that is gone. But
no, there's a whole commune in Utah that still believes that, actually.
Honestly?
It's probably that guy that we watch that hates gamers. It's probably that guy.
Dude, you know what? He has that Bible from the 1930s, and he's sticking to it. Like, it's just wild to me. Dude. Like, oh, dude, he's
that's another like show of how people can just take the Bible and like completely read it out of context, basically.
Oh, where he's gamers aren't real men. It's in the Bible.
Well, yeah, he read. I watched a little bit. Actually, I watched too much of it because it made me depressed afterwards. I was just like, I can't believe I was part of this. It was like, even if this is a minority, it's still like I don't. Yeah. Anyways, it was something along the lines of like the one who games is a loser, basically. And he pulled out a dictionary from like the 1800s, and I'm like, huh? And he was like, look here, game. The definition of game, someone who loses. So I Googled it, and it is, like, game is, like, someone who loses or something, but it's in context of, like, gambling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, no. He was looking at the definition of lose, and it was, like, to lose a game or something, you know.
Oh.
Like, to game. And it was like, yeah, if you're gambling, video games don't exist in the 1800s. Why would this dictionary have anything to do with video games, dog?
I mean, maybe if they're playing a gacha game, that's an apt.
Yeah.
Like if you're like spending like buttloads of money on a gacha game,
it's the 1800s. This dictionary he's reading.
Yeah, there's oh my god.
Where they play blackjack and shoot themselves. What?
You know what?
No, they shoot each other when they're fighting a civil war. That's what I was trying to say. I think I don't know.
Hey Jacob, you want to play some blackjack? You wanna like game?
Blackjack?
Blackjack.
Why did I think it was called something different? Is it called something? Is it blackjack? Is that the?
Blackjack is a gambling card game
I knew
where
that.
you can gamble.
Okay, I knew that. I for some reason you said blackjack and it registered as like something not blackjack. I was like, is that blackjack the right name for that? It is. I'm just dumb. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
The
finish
funny
this
thing
because
is,
we've
we
gone
had
too
just.
long on
Oh, okay,
Christianity
yeah,
and religion.
you are very
Um,
right. Today was the Christian podcast,
oh,
or just the
we
religious
still
one.
got some time. I'm just for right now. We should stop.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say was about VBS was
Yes.
a few kids, and like it just feels like fear mongering. That's like all it is.
Yeah.
Even when they're talking to the children, they're like, "All right, little Timmy, if you don't believe in God, you will never be perfect and you will burn in hell, Timmy." They don't say burn in hell, but they say you'll die you'll die and never go to heaven, basically. So they're insinuating you're gonna burn in hell.
That reminds me of a video I saw when I was.
And it's and it's like, dude, I mean, I get you want people to. And then there's the people that are like, we don't hide what's gonna happen at the end if you're not Christian. And it's like, I mean, I guess, but like, you don't have to trick these children basically into, or scare these children, excuse me, into converting. You know, you gotta just tell them what you offer, like it's a car dealership. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, this lady who was running it was like, I think this was just an off comment, but to me it felt like, I know the Bible says I can't teach children, or, or I know the Bible says that I can't do this because I'm a woman. But that's just what it felt like to me. I'm a guy, so I don't know. She walked up to me and she gave me like a CD to play for like their songs or whatever, which are also super bad. That's not part of this. I'm just saying. So I plug it in and I put it in, and then she tells me, "All right, play the fourth song or whatever it was." And I was like, "Okay." And then she came back a few minutes before the show, quote unquote, started, before VBS started, and was like, "Actually, can we play the first song?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, that's fine, yeah." And she was like, "Sorry, women, women like me always scatterbrain." And like, okay,
Oh no.
like, okay,
No.
that's not what I was thinking. I just thought you changed your mind. Like,
Yeah.
have some
Oh.
confidence.
Like
What?
I feel a little bad for her. Like dang.
Yeah, like have some confidence. Why?
You're allowed to
Women
think it.
scatterbrains. Like, not what?
No, I don't know. I mean, you're allowed to change your opinion.
Yeah, and that's what I was like. I was just like, okay, that's just. It felt off when she said that. I was like,
Yeah. That's like someone has told her this for a very long time. That's
Yeah.
like, oh, women and scatterbrained. Like, I should. Oh no.
dude, it's so hard to be a woman. I know I have a
It
penis,
really
so I can't I can't speak from experience, but like, it's like
what
dudes
do
are
you
just
think of
assholes. Excuse my
Oh,
language, but they are like,
Yeah.
especially now with like this alpha man culture and like the
Yeah.
grind never stops, hustle, etc., etc. They're just like, women are machines for babies, and then we take the babies and we grind them. We use them for our push-ups and our pull-ups and our whatevers. We use them as weight. And then we have
Yeah.
another baby so we can move our seed along. But
It's so
yeah,
icky.
yeah.
Like, man.
So speaking of which, I actually hate women because they don't listen to me, they don't love me, and they don't usually have the boobs that I want them to have, and they will refuse to get plastic surgery. So honestly, it's their fault. I don't know what's their problem or anything.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, this is the Incel podcast now. Welcome to episode 10, where we hate on women. Just kidding. That's a joke. We love women. TGOM,
Oh.
if it means anything, T stands for women. G stands for love. Women. Wait. O stands for orchids.
Always?
Orchids. And M stands for flowers. Women love orchid flowers. Saved it.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what it stands for. That's what TGOM stands for. Fun fact. Moving on swiftly. Um, uh,
Oh my god. Oh.
what else am I gonna say? I don't know. I realized we ran on that tangent about religion in the church and holy books in Israel and Palestine.
Oh
And
yeah.
now I've forgotten everything
We went for
else.
a long time. Yeah, we did stick to that.
I guess I could say something else. So remember when I messaged in like the Discord, like the Council Speaks chat? I said like, Nick, do you want to move to Texas with me?
Yes, I
Um,
do vaguely recall that.
I wasn't joking, because I actually did, well, I actually do still want to move to Texas.
Really?
Not Texas. I don't think Texas anymore. I think I'm gonna move to Oregon.
Hmm.
Cause it's a story to tell. Essentially the bare bones of it is like, so not even after I came home from college, it was even before. I was just, staying at home. I just didn't feel right at home. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just situations with like family and stuff, and especially
I get
as I've talked about on the podcast, me growing out of my faith and like becoming more progressive and realizing that if you're gay, trans, queer, whatever, you are fine. There's
Yeah.
obviously nothing wrong with you. And you don't need to be prayed for or anything. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
I just like it's I've realized over the past couple months that it's like I need to leave. I just need to get away from my family, really. Um,
I get you.
which is extreme, I know, but it's like, um, I mean, obviously, I love my mother. I don't hate my mom. I mean, she is my favorite mother.
The most
Which,
favorite of others.
yeah. Um, but then there's like my grandparents who are old. And my cousins who are just total douchebags. Like, I mean, I can't speak for you. The only reason I asked you if you wanted to move to Texas was just because I knew it would be easier to film the podcast if you were in person.
That's fair.
Because I knew you probably wouldn't want to leave. Because I know you. I mean, I don't obviously don't know you, and I don't live with you, but I know you probably love your family more than I
Well,
do.
to be fair, I am you know, a gay kid
Oddball.
in a very conservative family myself.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
don't
not.
exactly
I'm.
agree with my family, and they definitely don't know about me for very obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Um, so I've thought about a lot, like leaving the state. Like I would talk to my mom still because my mom is
Yeah.
surprisingly
Me
supportive
too.
from where she came from. But like rest of the family, I don't know. Maybe a select few cousins because
Yeah.
they're cool. But that's about it.
Yeah. It's my uncle. Not to get into too much, but I'm gonna get into too much. Flag me down if I'm like being too dark or something, because
Oh, you're
that's
fine.
totally understandable. He's a I don't know what he is. He works at a church. He was like a youth minister, but now he's a office worker at a church, something like that. He does
Uh huh.
something. He's a total douchebag, total asshole. He will not listen to you if you think something different than him.
Is he a douche nozzle?
He's a douche nozzle. He throws hissy fits if you like disagree with him.
Oof.
There was one time where my cousin, who I think my cousin, my male cousin. I have three cousins that I refer to as cousins because they're like the ones I know the most because I see them all the time.
Yeah.
The male one of the three is I think he's been completely, I hate to say it, brainwashed. Um, because it's not funny, but it is funny. Because he's been like, I remember when he was younger, he was much kind of like me, where I'm very, however I am. But we were similar in that way. Other than he likes sports, and I wasn't always that big into sports.
Yeah.
But then at this point, he has the exact same mannerisms as his father, and he talks the same as him, and he like, you know, and it's depressing because it's like, that's no offense, but he's not a guy you should be mirroring. Like he's the definition of a short fuse, you know. And there's one time where my male cousin was like, are disagreeing with him, about, I don't remember what, it was something stupid, and it was something about a basketball. They all play basketball.
I had a feeling it was about
sports. They all play sports, and that's another thing that, because me and Lindsay, my sister and our first podcast guest, we don't play sports. I played soccer a little bit, but then I stopped because I ran out of the age range, and I never went back because I couldn't and I didn't want to. But I've stuck with it, and I think it's because their dad had a heavy hand on it. But again, I don't know that because I don't live with them, but I assume. So there was an argument they're talking about with like one of my female cousins' basketball coach and how she's bad at her job, which is probably true because, yeah, whatever. And I remember that the male cousin was like, well, maybe she's doing this, like giving her a piece of the doubt or something like that. And the dad was like, no, that's stupid. You're dumb. Stop. No, that's stupid. And my male cousin was like, well, it's possible. I mean, it was not entirely her fault. And he was like, dude, just shut up and sit down, essentially. And like, male cousin sat down. We were playing like Mario Kart at the time. It was really awkward because we're just trying to play Mario Kart, and then he was like getting mad at him. So we went to play Mario Kart, and his dad came back over and like whispered in his ear while they were sitting behind me, and it was super awkward because I was like, "Can I start the race?" Yeah, and then I don't know what they said. I didn't really care to listen, but like, and it's also there was a time where my female cousin, the older of the two, was on Instagram, and their dad also has like Life 360 on all their phones to like track them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's.
Anyways, that's not important. I mean, it is important, but and then like there was one time where my female cousin was looking at her phone, and she couldn't go to church, I think is what it was. Or someone was sick, I think. And the dad was like, well, you should leave a comment and say, I'm sorry I missed church today, essentially. Or it was either that or tell them, I hope you get better soon, something like that. And then he said something along the lines of, that's what a good church daughter would do, or pastor's daughter would do, I think is what it was. And it's just, it comes off as brainwashing. Or not it comes off as being manipulative.
Yeah, it's like, this is what...
Yeah.
Kind of like...
And it's all an act. He never acts like that at church. I've been to his church once or twice, and like he's on the video board, and he's always smiling and happy. But then once you get to talking to him, he is a stone wall of an emotion man. And he'll just insult you until you are nothing but a pulp.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's off. I hate him so much. And that's another reason why I've left the church, because I'm like, if there's people like this running churches, I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
But that's my family, so I see them like every week. It's pretty awesome, honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not a joke.
I see why you're so depressed all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get made fun of because I don't play sports. And we watched... Okay, so this was recently. We were at my grandma's house for appliance day, which was because she got her appliances after waiting for like 2 years. So I'm like, just cancel it and reorder it. Why are you waiting for so long? Whatever. Everyone had left. Not everyone had left. I think my cousins were about to leave. And the basketball game had just finished. Because we have to watch sports while we're there. Because if we're not watching sports, they're going to get mad at us. Well, Well, not even. I think we were also watching Law and Order, which is my favorite show. I hate Law and Order. I hate crime shows. They're all the same. Um, I switched the channel, and they're like, just find something, and I would watch. I was like, oh, and I found World Chase Tag, which is where they play tag. Like, and it's a very cool sport. Actually, it's fun to watch.
I think I've seen this.
It's where like they have a team of 5, I think, and one guy is a chaser, one guy's a runner, and it's like free running. It's this crazy course where you could probably die because they're going like 20 miles an hour. They're running so fast.
Oh,
it's awesome. It's really fun to watch.
this is a bit different than I think.
And the second I turn it on, they're like, "What is this? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." You know?
They don't know good. They don't know good.
That's what I was about. That's what I was. I was like, this is actually really cool. It's fun to watch because it's like crazy how fast they're moving, and like how they have to evade this person for 20 seconds while moving at like top breakneck speed without breaking their own neck. You know, it's really interesting to watch. But no, my dad, my cousins, everyone's like, this is the dumbest sport I've ever seen. You can just do anything. This is so stupid. I'm like, you guys throw basketballs into peach baskets. Why?
Yeah.
Why is this stupid? This is fun to watch. Basketball, you run back and forth, throw a stupid, oversized orange into baskets. Like, who cares, dude? And all those dudes are like 6'7". I can't relate to that. I'm 5'9". Like,
yeah.
Like, come on.
I just can't. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like, they just don't accept anything if it's not sports or a sport that they recognize, I guess. You know?
There was a very similar show I'd watched where very similar, like a bunch of people running, but like they were all trained in parkour.
Yeah.
Like, so they were like one of the maps or like stages they were on, they were doing parkour around a giant floating, hung in the middle of the air thing of poles and rods, and like they were like jumping around and stuff, trying to get each other. I'm like, oh my god, what is that? It was really intense.
So is it like Wipeout? Is that what you're talking?
There was a tagger who had to steal the flag that was attached to a person. They had to run away and get to like for a certain amount of time, or they had to get to a button. Can't remember which. Yeah. Different maps were different rulings. But like they would have like, there was this lady who she was like, they called her like Strong Arm Betty or something.
Yeah.
Like she's just over here like swinging herself up like to get to the top of this thing, and this other parkour person is trying to like scramble around. They're like, stay away from me. Yeah. And she's like, nuh-uh, and she's like smiling the whole time with an aggressive look, laughing. And I'm like, oh my god, this is terrifying, because they're like hanging like 30 feet over the ground. It's like, Jesus.
It sounds was really intense. Yeah, it sounds like a mix of Wipeout and like American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch, but
so
it was just ultimate tag essentially.
Yeah, World Chase. Also, World Chase Tag we were watching was like this weird 30th, like 5th anniversary or something. So it's been around for a while.
Gotcha.
And
this show was a bit newer, I think.
Yeah, and there was one part where they were talking about a certain team, like a World Chase Tag team, had been bought by Team Envy, which is an esports team. Like a Dallas-based esports team, and they're like, well, we like World Chase Tag because, like video games, you have to make fast decisions fast because these people are, again, running 20 miles an hour or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they bought them, and I remember watching that, being like, if one of them saw this, they're talking about esports and stuff, they're going to like just make fun of them even more because esports isn't a sport, which it is. We've talked about this is like the second episode I think we talked about esports. I don't remember. We talked about it at one point.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, and then there's also the fact that this is back to me wanting to move. Well, you know that I'm leaving for like 4 months, right?
Yeah, you told me you were going to.
Yeah, that necessarily wasn't my choice. I mean, it was, but it wasn't my complete choice. 'Cause like, I was at a point where I can't, because my house is at an awkward distance from stores, like places to work,
Oh.
where it's like short by walk or short by drive, but it's like a 10-20 minute walk and there's no sidewalks. So I'm walking in a ditch or on the road.
Yeah,
And
you live in a very strange area to like get to place.
yeah, and I'm not necessarily in a safe area to be walking around at, well, and maybe night, you know?
Like, I think there's a gas station that's like a 30-minute.
Yeah, there's a gas station, yeah, but I think it has a better reputation of being robbed than it does selling
Literally.
gas. So
Yeah, like, I went there and it looked kind of sketch, low key.
yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
I was like, well, I can't get a. I mean, I can't get a job here because I can't get there safely.
Yeah.
But and then this thing came up with going to New York for 4 months to do work there, and I'm like, I don't want to go to New York for 4 months because then I can't. I don't have a safe way to do the podcast. I don't have a safe way to write or whatever. And then I wasn't gonna go. I was gonna work at Meyer and somehow walk there in the morning or the night or whatever. And then I found out that and I found Meyer, you had to have like 6 months of experience or something. I was like, well, I obviously don't have that. And then I found out that I would have the internet shut off on me and not be given the password to the new internet if I didn't get a job. So I was like, well, I'm going to lose the podcast anyway, so, might as well go. So
I get you. So it was like a mix of irony.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I don't talk about my dad a lot because I don't talk to him at all, really, anymore.
I gotcha.
Well, there's also, I'm going to talk about it. We're watching Good Mythical Morning, which is a YouTube duo where they do like a talk show, but it's a lot better than Jimmy Fallon.
They're pretty fun. I like them.
Yeah. There's an episode of Good Mythical More where they spin the wheel and they got a donation, like they're going to donate some money. Gifticality, I think it was. I don't know.
Oh,
and they were donating to the LGBTQ Center of Los Angeles.
Nice.
Which, yeah, cool. There's no problem with that. And both my dad and mom go, ugh. Like, really? Like,
dang.
Like, what? Why? Like, what is the problem? You know? And, yeah. But yeah, he doesn't talk to me and ignores me. So I'm like, oh, there's no reason to live here anymore. So I'm going to move, I think. I don't know if I'm going to move as soon as I come home from New York. Or, like, I don't know. I probably won't. I'll probably have to, I don't know. Because I just do not want to live here anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It would probably depend on them.
Depend on the what?
Depending on the amount of money you have saved up by the time you get back.
Yeah.
I think that would be your biggest decider.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I get you. Like.
Yeah, my life is pretty awesome as a straight white male. I'm gonna be honest. Honestly, everything that the movies had me believe was gonna happen in my life was 100% true. So.
Right? Yeah, man.
You ever think about that though? How like, I never realized how influenced I was by movies with like white protagonists, like white straight protagonists. Where they're like, we'll do it and we'll never back down, and then they always won in the end. Well, I think I took that a little too seriously because I am saying I'm going to do this and then immediately fall on my face, get stomped on by people I thought loved me, and now I'm here making a podcast at midnight 47. So, I'm living the dream.
When I was a kid, I thought the reason it didn't work out was straight. Is that why I'm not?
Wait, cutting out. Repeat what you said.
When I was like younger days, Nick, I was like, oh, I'm not straight. Is that why I'm not cool like all these show characters? Like,
no, it's because you stole my shoe.
You're right. I stole your shoe, and then bad luck befell me.
Yeah. So.
God, then we became friends. Ugh, worst luck ever.
Yeah, then we became friends.
God, how could this
Dang
happen
it.
to me? Should have never
This
stolen.
never happens in the movies. Yeah. Ugh.
Don't worry, Jacob. I'm glad I stole your shoe to become.
Yeah. Do you think we would have ever been friends if you stole my if you didn't steal my shoe?
I don't know. I think we would have talked less if I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have remembered each other if I didn't steal your shoe, because like that was kind of like, oh yeah, that's Jacob. Like
Yeah.
I stole his shoe, and for
My
you it's
lined-up
probably like,
sketcher.
oh, it's him. He stole my shoe that one
Yeah.
year.
That's true. I didn't like it for a long time. We talked about that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But here we are, where I'm spilling my guts about family.
Yeah.
So,
Don't
which
worry, I can relate.
I'm probably
with,
gonna get. If my mom listens to this, she's gonna be like, Jacob, don't talk about that. What if they hear you? I'm like, I don't care. What are they gonna do? Beat me up? That just proves my point. If they do.
Yeah. I feel you though. Like my family hasn't the best. I'm like, because I'm me, like always like happy-go-lucky. Like,
Yeah.
and my family doesn't like gang up on me ever, but I get to hear. But that also means I'm in the inner circle where I get to hear all the crap they actually think about people.
Yeah.
And people like me. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, this is fun. You guys are talking crap about me and don't even
Yeah.
realize. Like,
I just don't understand why people hate, like. Okay, I heard that queer is now a word you use to describe all of LGBTQ. Like instead of saying gay.
yeah, queer
So
is supposed to
can
be
I say that,
umbrellas.
Nick? Give me a clearance on that. You're in the
Personally,
gayosphere, right? You can tell me that. You understand?
yes. Yeah. So yeah, queer is an umbrella term, and a lot of personally, I don't like it because
Oh,
I'm
okay. Sorry.
like oh, you're fine. Personally, that's just a me thing. I don't because queer means strange. Why do people want to be called? I don't understand.
Everyone wants to be quirky. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I get it's like the whole like taking it back kind of thing. Same with like saying the gay slur and like, oh yeah, I'm this. And like,
I would never say that. I've been called that so
Yeah.
many times in middle school that if I said it, I would get emotionally hurt by just saying it myself.
yeah, like I am gay and I can't really say I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I know gay people who are like, oh yeah, saying this daily, and like, why? I don't sometimes I think they just want to have a word that they can use, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I think everyone has that FOMO of African Americans having their word, basically.
Yeah,
And
like,
everyone's like, I want to
image.
have my word.
Yeah, everyone wants to have their own image.
So white people are like, I want to be called cracker. It's like, why?
Oh no, that's the worst. Oh my god. But yeah, I guess the LGBT community or LGBTQ plus or whatever.
I want to be called cracker. It's like, why?
Jesus. But I think they chose the word queer because gay is also somewhat of an umbrella term, but it's supposed to mean specifically.
Yeah, that's why I was. Yeah.
You know, two guys. So I think that's why queer is the umbrella term to go to.
Okay, but I'll use LGBTQ so not to insult you or anyone else who feels like that.
For me, you can just say I'm gay. Like that's fine.
Well, I'm talking umbrella like, not just talking to you. I don't like you actually. Not because you're gay, just because I don't like you. Fun fact. We actually hate each other.
I feel very included.
I include you and I love you for who you are, but I actually hate your guts. So
thank you for hating me because I'm a
but
human
not
being.
because you're gay. I just hate you because you talk so much.
That means so much to me, Jacob.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now get out of this voice call. I'm just kidding. No,
here's the leaf sound.
What I was trying to say was like, I don't understand why so many people just have, or like so many old white people have such problems with just LGBTQ plus people in general. Like they are.
It's different and it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
like,
they don't like. Yeah, I
don't know
guess
how
that's
to
true.
handle it.
Yeah.
Like, if something you have never considered for your entire life is opened up to you and you're like stuck in your ways, yeah, they lash out.
Yeah, they use Lash Out from Pokemon, the Dark type move.
Exactly. Like, it's like when super straight guys like realize someone is gay.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, oh my god, this confuses me.
Oh,
What
wait,
is
you're
wrong
gay,
here?
dude?
I can't.
Dude, you're gay,
Yeah,
dude? Yeah.
it's like they can't fathom being gay or anything like that. So it's like, what? And like they get so confused and like suddenly uncomfortable because they
What?
feel like
You're
they're,
gay? How does that even
yeah.
work?
And then there's the assumption that they're gonna like jump your bones or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It,
Yeah.
it's like how girls like think of most guys, where it's like they're all just trying to get in my pants, so
Yeah.
guys make me uncomfortable. So it's like most straight guys feel like that about gay guys.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
oh my
Nick.
god.
I think you're gonna jump my pants from across the interwebs.
You know what? Next time a guy feels, I'm like, how all get your priorities straight, like be nicer or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so that's pretty much
I
it.
guess. I think there may be part of it. This is unfounded. It may also be from like HIV and AIDS, which was like at first described as like the gay virus, basically.
That was a big thing, like because it was called not gridlock. What was it called?
Gridlock.
Yeah, it was like something that sounds kind of gritty. I forget what they call it, like grid some. Oh, this is gonna kill me.
I knew it was. I thought it was like the gay disease. Well, that's actually I don't know what it was called.
Gay-related immune deficiency. I think it was grid. Yeah, it was grid.
It's so stupid. Like
yeah.
It's like doctors seeing a single thread of like, oh, all these people are gay. Well, only they can have it, or only they can spread it. It's like, come on, guys, do a little bit more.
And then they realized that was untrue because who ended up with it. They're like, oh, what? This kid, this like 9-year-old kid somehow has it? Oh no.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
It's like, yeah. It's probably also in the time where doctors also smoked cigarettes and said, Camels are the best cigarette for doctors. Keeps our minds straight.
Yeah. Oh, I swear. Like, yeah, that was definitely the type of era.
And they also didn't wash their hands before, or they didn't wash their hands and put gloves on before operating on someone, which is just the funniest thing to think about. Just like a guy with like powder on his hands, like, all right, let's get in them guts.
God. Like the 70s and 80s really were the dark ages. Like, compared to now, they were the dark ages.
Now we have Facebook and metaverse. Like,
the
metaverse is just VR chat with a mix of Rec Room, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's a.
I mean,
we're
VR chat is interesting. I kind of want to do VR chat with you one day, Jacob.
I'd be horrible. I'd get so socially. I'd be so awkward. I wouldn't talk.
Oh, dude, same. Like the only reason I'm able to was able. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever told you this story. How I met a guy on Among Us who was like, "Hey, add me on." I added him on Discord. He called me up. And he's like, "Download VR chat right now." Downloaded it, and then he was like, "All right, so everyone knows me as Ghost, and these are all my friends." Like, what is happening? Like, so this all happened in the period of an hour.
Is this like that time you we went on to that dating server, and that guy messaged you saying he was just yanking his chain or something like that?
Oh no, that was no.
That was so funny. I can't believe I got no hits on that, and you got all of them. That was crazy.
I did. I got so many hits. And the funny thing is, we were role playing as each other.
Yeah, I guess my name drags them in. Yeah.
You know.
Well, I was Golden Lover Boy, actually.
True. You got banned because they said you were a furry.
I almost got banned because they thought I was a furry. I didn't actually get banned. I almost did.
Right. They're like, no furries allowed. Change your username and thing. It's like, oh.
It's like, I just like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right. Yeah. Also, the podcast, I think, is running a bit long, right?
Yeah, we're at 118.
Oh, for some reason I thought we were way long. But yeah.
No, I would have cut you off.
Okay.
Like that.
That's fair. But yeah, VR chat, we should do it sometime. It will be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, God, I kind of want to talk to that person who got me into VR chatting, because like he just randomly hits me up like every 5 months, and like he's like, "Ayo, you want to play some VR chat?" I'm like, sure. I met you one time, and like every like 4, he just texts me like, "Ayo, let's do this." I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Also, he has like the deepest voice I've ever heard, but apparently he's like 14, and I'm like, there is no way. There is no
does
way.
he say he's 14? he could
says
be 35.
He says he's 14, and
He
sounds old as heck.
If he ever asks you to go to like Vermont with him, say no.
Oh my goodness. Like, it's wild. But it's
so.
Oh, it's strange doing VR chat.
Yeah. All right, we should stop.
It's more fun with people. You're right. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the Depressed Podcast, also known as TGOM.
The Midnight Podcast.
The Midnight Podcast, where I talk about things I probably shouldn't, but I can because this is my podcast, and I do what I want.
We got into some deep stuff today.
Yeah.
Although I guess we do that a lot these days.
We tread the line a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think I don't think we talked about video games in this one or the last one. I thought about it. I don't think we talked about video games at all.
I think you're right. Well, no, we did. VR chat, technically.
Oh, you're right.
The last 5 minutes.
I always think about that. Like, after I'm done recording, I'm like, man, I can only remember us talking about, I don't know, 7th grade or whatever. And then I'm like, we didn't even talk about video games this week. I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah, we did. At the beginning, we talked about Persona or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And I still need to play in Road 96 so that we
talk about it. Okay.
All right. Peace, guys.
Bye.